Hello, everybody, and welcome to the YouTube channel, The Big Black American Secret. My name is Daniel Jackson. Um, if you like what you hear, please subscribe, share, hit the bell, and that way you get notifications when I go live or make other videos. Um, in this video, it's almost a follow-up to the video I did yesterday about the federal charges levied against the leader of the NFAC, Jam Master Jay, which was no more than a racist governmental attack on this man. Now, this is important for so many reasons, and it almost, because of the nature of what's going on, it reminds me of something that happened back in 1935. Haile Selassie, he's was the king or the emperor of Ethiopia, and at that time, Butino Mussolini, wanted to. He was a dictator, Italian dictator, and he wanted to take over Ethiopia. There, because Italy owned or controlled parts of Africa close to Ethiopia. The British colony owned parts of Africa in those areas, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Europeans had portions of Africa. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, at the time they had what was called the League of Nations, and it was a precursor to what they have now, which is the national. Anyway, League of Nations. I can't think of the name right now. It'll come to me. But anyway, again, he wanted to attack Ethiopia and take it. And at the time, British didn't want to get involved, didn't want to help Ethiopia out, and any of that. So the Emperor Haile Selassie, he told the British Empire, he says, "Okay, y'all don't want to help me, but if this guy attacks me and win, he's coming after you all next. He's coming after your interest in Africa next." So Mussolini attacked Ethiopia. Haile Selassie went into exile, and he proclaimed himself the new ruler of the empire over there in Ethiopia. Now, shortly thereafter, Mussolini, along with help from Germany, started attacking British territory in those areas, just like Haile Selassie said he would, And then Britain got involved. You feel what I'm saying? So, long story short, with the help of Britain, with the British, Haile Selassie got Ethiopia back. But all of that could have been avoided if they would have stepped up all together. They were all part of the League of Nations at the time, but they chose not to, and it caused them to have to lose lives and go into war. Now, that story, I brought that story up for a reason, because right now we pretty much we hear Black America in that story is Ethiopia. Mussolini in this story is our United States government. All the other forces, like Britain and India and stuff like that, those are other black people, okay? And specifically, in this case, Haile Selassie, that's going to be Jam Master Jay of the NFAC. Now again, the person himself ain't really the issue, the problem. So much so as what it means for all the other black people, that the bad stuff that could happen to all the other black people if we do not put light on this situation. You understand? So, right now, our American government is trying to make a public display to crush the protective black masculine nature of black men. by attacking Jam Master Jay. They created a task force, and the name of this task force is the Attorney General's Task Force to Combat Violent Anti-Governmental Extremism. This task force was created 1 month after the NFAC showed up in South Georgia behind the Ahmaud Arbery murder. So it's no coincidence. This task force was created specifically and simply because of that display they saw. They saw black armed men trying to protect other black citizens. That's how the system of racism, white supremacy responded. Okay? So here's what all of this means for the rest of us black people. It ain't going to stop with Jam Master Jay. You know what I'm saying? These are trumped up charges. Ridiculous charges, as a matter of fact. Let me go back a little bit. I'm going to read a portion of his charges. And again, I read the whole thing yesterday. And it's very flimsy from my stance, my point of view, just from reading this thing. Okay, I'm gonna go into part of this thing, and I'm reading from the United States Department of Justice. It's a portion of their website, and it's the charges. The title of it is NFC leader Grandmaster Jay charged with assaulting law enforcement officers. Right. So down here it says this part here. According to the complaint, the officers and task force officers advised they all perceived a threat from Johnson based on him aiming his rifle at them. All officers advised that they were concerned Johnson might intentionally or even accidentally discharge a round at them. All officers recognized that the distance between them and Johnson was well within the effective range of an AR platform style rifle. 2 of the officers advised that they were wearing their LMPD soft body armor with police semi-reflective play card identifying them the night of September 4th, 2020. None of the officers had drawn their handguns, and only one of the officers had a rifle with him, which he did not point at Johnson or the NFAC members on the armory place. All officers advised that neither Johnson nor the other NFAC members perceived a threat from the officers on the roof because neither Johnson or the other NFAC members moved to cover when they saw the officers on the roof of the Jefferson County grand jury building. Now, again, he was charged with pointing a gun at federal officers, and obviously from reading this, they advised that they felt threatened. They felt threatened by that. But they didn't feel threatened enough to pull their weapons and point back. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. So they lied saying they felt threatened, which they did not feel a threat because they would have pulled their weapons as to protect themselves or to return fire if fire was to be given to them. No, they noticed the flashlight that was attached to the rifle or the shotgun. They said it was an AKR-7. So let's just say a rifle. Had a flashlight on it, and he simply was seeing, I guess, who was up there. What was the movement going around up there, right? But they want to trump this up and make it sound worse than it is. And Johnson, them obviously, they said didn't seem to feel threatened because they didn't run for cover when they noticed people was on the roof. So it wasn't a tense engagement. You see what I'm saying? This task force was created as a response to seeing black armed men looking out to protect their people. The system of white racism, white supremacy is trying to, once again, buck break black men. And we can't have that. That's a big fucking no-no. Big fucking no-no. We ain't gonna be broken. It's the year 2020. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I don't care what you feel about the, Jam Master Jay, his movement. If you seeing black men with guns make you nervous, that's something you're gonna have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? That's been beat into you. Over time, it will leave you Because if you're a man, you need to protect yourself, your family, your children, and you protect your belongings. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you was put here to do. That's the Creator put you here to protect. Please understand that. That ain't some far out point. But we have been so damaged that we think when we see a black man with a gun, we instantly start to feel like white people, nervous and scared. That's the white supremacists that exist in all of us. We honestly are white supremacists. We've been bred and not bred, we've been conditioned to be white supremacists. We black people that are white supremacists. And that may sound crazy to a lot of y'all, but that's exactly what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, now, getting back to this thing. These are trumped up charges. They're very flimsy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how it's going to go, but the case ain't the point. This is just a way for them to see just how far they could push black people. You know what I'm saying? So if we do not respond to this, then we're showing them that we still punk ass pussies, scared little slaves. You know what I'm saying? And so you may be asking, okay, Daniel, well, how should we respond? Should we all just get guns and just go crazy and start killing people? Hell no, that's stupid. Fucking idiot. Why would you even... Anyway, no, that ain't what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is we must respond to this governmental racist attack on the NFAC the same way we respond to racist Democratic members, racist Republican members, racist presidential candidates who show their racism. We must point it out. We must blast it out to the universe so that everybody can get on the same board with it. We in the new black media, we in the black first family have a responsibility to point out racist injustice wherever it is. And if we don't do that, we might as well not even call ourselves black first or be the new black media. You know what I'm saying? And if you have a fear of this topic, that's even more the reason why you got to do it. You have to purge that fear up out of yourself. Because guess what? If you think that if you get boisterous on this topic, oh, well, you might bring attention to yourself. And guess what? Newsflash, you on somebody's whiteboard. Right now, your name is on somebody's whiteboard. If you have an email address, if you talk on a cell phone, if you're on social media, and you speaking about racism and white supremacy, somebody know who you is. You ain't invisible to the system. You ain't operating incognito. You know what I'm saying? So you can get over that right now. And if you're thinking, oh, well, smart people move in silence or they wait for an opportunity that's the right time, there's never a right time to address a bully. There's never a right time a time to wait to address injustice. When people say these things in instances like this, it's simply they're afraid. They're scared. They don't know what to do, so they don't do nothing. You understand? And I understand it. Because again, that was me. I live everything I talk. I be at a gas station, I see a black man with a gun, and I get a little nervous. I'm like, man, what this dude finna do? Nothing. He a legal gun owner. His gun is showing. But in my brain, from growing up, seeing, hearing about black people killing each other and all these old negative things, I instantly think, like white people think, that we all crazy. And that in itself is crazy. You see how twisted they got us? Addressing this would actually be like self-therapy as well. It'll help purge this fear that we have, So it's so very important that we all get on code like we always have been. Bring light to this subject matter because it is a racist attack on a black man who has stood up to racial injustice for his people. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't about just this person himself. He is an example. But if they're allowed to continue down their road without being checked, then guess what they're going to do? Then you will be next, and I will be next, and whoever else they feel like coming after going to be next. And they still may come after us anyway, but it don't matter, because we still going to respond the same way. You know what I mean? We're going to bring the attention on these injustices, and we're going to keep bringing in the shining light on these injustices, because that's what we do. This is our mission now in life. We use the tools we have in our hands right now. And right now, social media is our tool. So y'all go out on your social media platforms, research this Attorney William Barr's task force. It's the Attorney General's task force to combat violent anti-government extremism. Now remember, Jeff Sessions, before he left the White House, he was more direct with his. He wanted to go after black identity extremists. He had made up a damn term, and he's saying anybody who proud of themselves and want to be black and tired of racism, white supremacy, that person's going to be an extremist, and we're going to go after them. And that would have just been too blatant and blunt. So they said, "No, Jeff, let's get Granny out of the White House." You know, Granny, he a little bit too advanced right now. We'll pull him back later, but right now we need to not do that. But this guy done the same damn thing, because the last word in his thing is extremism, and it was created as a response to the NFAC. Can't nobody tell me it wasn't. And like I said on the other video, the same thing happened in 1967 in California when the Black Panther Party went to the State House with pistols and shotguns. Ronald Reagan at the time was a senator. And 2 months later, after that show of force, well, not show of force, just the fact they was expressing their Second Amendment rights as legal gun owners, they pushed through. They enacted the Mumford Act. You know what I'm saying? And the NRA was 100% with Ronald Reagan on that. And anytime you've heard about the NRA, that's the largest gun lobbying organization in America. And they are 100% for gun owner rights, especially when they are for white people. You know what I'm saying? They don't say that, but that's exactly what they mean. You know, they all for guns, as long as only white people got guns. You know, but it's a problem when black people got guns and we want to protect ourselves, right? So, black one, if you be one, if you're part of the new black media, hell, if you're part of the old black media, it don't matter, because we all are potential victims of these, and I'm calling it what it is. It's a public lynching. Now, somebody pulled my coattail and said, "Well, you really can't call it a lynching, you know, because you know that kind of what they say, it makes light of what happened to our ancestors during slavery." And I say, well, I kind of understand what you're saying, but you got to understand what I'm saying. This is exactly what the hell it is. This is a public lynching of the protective black male masculinity that is natural to every man, especially the black man. You understand? They want to kill that nature in us. Hang it up on a tree and kill it. That's a lynching. That's a murder. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what it is, and that's what I'm gonna call it. If you can call it whatever the hell you want, but please understand the seriousness of it, because they're doing this to put fear in you, and then you're gonna pass that fear down to your children. And you ain't supposed to pass no fear down to nobody. Hell, you ain't even supposed to have fear in your heart. That's a cancer. It will eat at you. It's a disease. So anything that you're afraid of, you must face it. Your creator demands that you face your fears. And especially if you're a man. You're a protective organism. That's what you do. You're supposed to be a beast when it comes to protecting yourself and your family. Be a beast. You know what I'm saying? Do your job. You know, it's just crazy. In 2020, we still dealing with stuff like this. And if we don't stand up now, 100 years from now, our kids going to be dealing with the same thing. Just like we dealing with what our people should have not been dealing with. I'm going to tell you that story about on the plantation. Here's what should have happened. When they killed that buck, the strong black buck in front of all the other slaves, you know what should have happened that night? That whole plantation should have been burned to the ground. That whole plantation should have been burned to the ground. But of course, hindsight is 2020, and I can say whatever I say right now, and it don't mean a hill of beans because I was not there at the time. I'm sure if I was there, I would have been the same as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't know what we did not know, but we know now. We have the strength of foresight. We saw what happened in the past. Therefore, we know how to respond right now so that the future of our children is brighter and better. Okay? So you got your marching orders. You know exactly what to do. Use your social media platforms to bring light to this racial injustice. That's all you have to do. All you got to do. And you've been doing it so lovely so far up till now. It's only the fear that you faced over the last 3 or 4 days that has caused you not to even talk about this. It's been on your mind heavy. You didn't know how to deal with it, what to say. And I get that. I get that because I dealt with it too. But the fact is, it's fear. This fear is going to be addressed right now. And I just wish that somebody would have told me about these things when I was younger. You know, our biggest battle or fight is the system of racism and white supremacy. I'm going to put Dr. Frances Cress Welson's got a video where she explains the system of racism and white supremacy in the description so that you all can get caught up on the system of racism and white supremacy, because that's the number one problem for black people. If we didn't have this system to fight, this would be such a beautiful world. I mean, we would all live in harmony with one another, and it would just be a beautiful world. But because we do have this system of racism and white supremacy, you need to be educated on it and not operate from a stance of ignorance. And it ain't your fault. And I'm not calling you ignorant. I'm just saying, you know, most of us are ignorant of our enemy. And our enemy ain't one person or one thing. It's a system of racism that operates in all levels of human activity. You'll see the video and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. You know, like I said, I wanted to follow up to the video I did yesterday and talk to my B1 family, the new black media, the old black media, because again, we all in this together. It don't matter what your religion is, your political stance, none of that. In the war of racism and white supremacy, you are enemy number one. It don't matter your political stance or your religious understandings. You are enemy number one in this system. And that being the point, then we come together on the things we come together on the commonalities, and we leave our differences behind us. If you're a vegan and you don't eat meat, and I'm vice versa, it don't matter. Who cares? If you believe we are all from Africa, or you believe we're all Native Americans, or if you believe we're all Moors, it don't matter, because we all melanated. This is the common denominator. You understand what I'm saying? All of those things are just misnomers. We can deal with all that shit later. But when we are at war, we are all soldiers on the same team. Melanated peoples. We are original people on every landmass. If you melanated, you come from the original people of this planet. The original owners of this world are you and me, melanated people. Okay? So please understand what I'm saying. Your protective black masculine nature is being challenged. And they're trying to lynch it. We cannot allow this. We cannot allow this. The young men who look up to you are looking at you. They want to see how you respond. Because if you respond like a moist male, a scared little bitch, guess what they're going to be? You set the tone. You spearhead this. Speak out against injustice. Stand on your square and mean that shit. If you be one, If you black first, you know what you got to do. If you do new black media, old black media, don't matter. You know what you got to do. You got to speak on this issue because it's wrong. And if it's a racial injustice, we have to bring light to it. We have to shine the biggest light as we can on it and point out the wrongness of it so that the system will know that we are all on the same page. Okay? Simple as that, people. This is a huge assignment, but it ain't something I'm not asking you to do something that you don't already do. The discomfort level shouldn't even be that high right now, because what this government has created after 30 days of seeing armed men out of racist tendencies, they created a whole federal task force to attack black men under the disguise of a governmental protective force that's supposed to be protecting all the citizens from bad people. You understand what I'm saying? And that's simple racism 101. And we can't allow things like this to stand any longer. Okay? So, on that note, I'm going to end this video. But do like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications, and share this. Share this out. Create your own information and get this information out to your people.